A very good afternoon, all the participants. My name is Dr. Vignesh. I am part of the National Digital Library of India team. On behalf of the PN Panika Foundation and the National Digital Library of India, we are very happy to invite you for this webinar on NDLI in Indian languages. So this is very crucial because many of our population as or we are a linguistically diverse country, and we have officially 22 official languages, and there are so many dialects, which innumerable dialects that are being spoken. And Indian language content, though they are available a lot in the print medium, but availability in the digital medium is still a challenge. So today we are going to have this webinar on what are the type of uh, content that are available in Indian languages. So Dr. Plavan Kumar Bhaumik, who is one of my colleagues, he's going to talk to you about on this very important topic. And Dr. Plavan is an assistant professor at the Center for Education Technology, and his research interest lies in the topic of like artificial intelligence in education and natural language processing, and he's an expert in uh, various designing educational technology solutions. So we are happy to invite Dr. Plavan Kumar Bhaumik for this webinar. Now I invite Balagopalji to formally invite Dr. Plavan before we begin the session. So you have to unmute your mic.
विजुअल प्रवीण कुमार मोगी का विजुअल नहीं आता है.
We can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
I can hear you, but I cannot see the face of Mr. Pravan Kumar.
Okay, I'm really sorry.
Now it has come. Now it has come. Yes,
How
very
are you,
good.
sir?
Fine, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. I heard a lot about you from Dr. Vignesh. And one thing I'm also very much interested is you are focusing on developing indigenous products and indigenous focusing on the local languages and local materials also. I want you to develop, you be developing it because you are the assistant professor of Center for Education Technology. So the Center for Education Technology can do a lot of things because apart from that, I want you to promote some of the rural products that are in a very much demand in other states, and not other states, other countries. In fact, I tell one of my experience. In Kerala, they are having jackfruit. Jackfruit is freely available in Kerala, and as well as in Tamil also. And one of my classmate, good friend, Dr. Vinod Thomas, he was at the time. I'm telling about the story about some 10 years back. He was at the time the World Bank Vice President at New York. And I gave him, when he came to Trivandrum, I gave him some, this what you call it, jackfruit chips.
Okay.
Then I gave him the jackfruit chips. And he was telling you, Balgobal, it is very sweet, very good, and the taste is also good. Shall I take it to home to New York? Then I gave a packet, a good packet of jackfruit. Then he went there. After 1 week, he telephoned me and he asked me to send some 50 tons of jackfruit, these jackfruit chips. I was wondered. See, here it is thrown to animals and in the fields also. But this is a value-added product. Not only the all parts of the jackfruit is converted into value-added product. This local, through this education technology, you must give emphasis to market and produce, not market, produce the local food and eating items, because these have a lot of market potential in other state, and it's an exportable item, and that will give us some incentives also. So when you are focusing on these regional languages, indigenous products, I welcome your. That's why I was very particular. I discussed with Dr. Vignesh. Because then that's why I had some other program today. But even then, I said I will hear Mr. Plavan Kumar, and I want to implement it in Kerala, first in Kerala. It's a pleasure and privilege for me to invite you to this webinar, and we need your further uh, involvement and collaboration to make this digital this PN Panikkar Foundation's innovative concept of going to the masses, not innovative, going to the masses and make them skilled, so that they can earn. That is our philosophy. Earn while they learn. In schools, earn while you learn, as well as Gandhian philosophy of every home a production center. That is why China has developed that concept. So, with your knowledge and your experience, we are delighted to hear your uh, lecture. And I am welcoming you again, and welcoming Dr. Vignesh and all participants attending this webinar. Thank you, Mr. Prabhan Kumarji. You can start your webinar.
Thank you very much, respected Sir Sri Balagopalji, Dr. Vignesh, and it is really a pleasure and privilege for me to speak in such such an important occasion, and that occasion is named after a very eminent person like PM Panikkar. So I'm very much privileged to be a speaker in the 25th PM Panikkar National Reading Digital Reading Month celebration 2020. So as I have been interested to talk about NDLI in natural Indian languages, as you know that this we are developing like India, which is which has sorry, I got disconnected in between. So am I audible now? Hello?
Yes, sir. You are. There is some
Okay,
network issue, it seems.
can I share my screen? Have you
Yes,
given
yes.
me? Okay,
Yes,
so
I
let
have.
me share my screen. So as I was talking about, so the diversity of language is a very important aspect. While someone is developing a product or developing a system or developing any policy in the Indian context, and because of the very fact that we are pretty much a very linguistically diverse nation. So before going to the main topic, primary topic, let me start with a story of a kid. I guess there are many students who are participating in this webinar. I think I have been informed by Dr. Vignesh about that particular statistics. So with that assumption, my deliberation will be involving many such stories before going to the actual point of today's discussion. So let me start with a story of a kid. Maybe the kid is myself, but it can be generalized to any kid who is hailing from a very remote corner of India, from a very remote village, where maybe the electricity has not yet reached. And when I was kid, that was a kind of very frequent or very normal situation in a rural area. Now the kid has is very fond of reading. पढ़ने का बहुत शौक था उसका, and he's very fond of thinking about things. He was very fond about imagining various things. Right now, luckily, there was a library, though that was called a library, but that was a kind of 11 by 12, a very small room and stuffed with almirahs full of books. Now, luckily, the kid has got a membership somehow in that library. And in that library, there was a person called Anil Uncle. In Bengali, we call uncle as Kaku. So Anil Kaku was the person who used to manage the library, but he was not a paid person. So he was not getting salaried from the library. He was doing as a voluntary task, or maybe community service task, and he was managing the library. Now, Anil Kaku had got all the answers to my questions. So I can remember that if you are appearing for a 10th standard history exam, and in the history essays, if you can put English quotation. So I studied in Bengali medium. So writing English quotations in history essays thought to be very prized position. So these quotations in English, they are like jewels in this essays. Now, whenever I got to find one such quotation, I just went to Anil Kaku or Anil Uncle and asked him, Anil Uncle, I was writing an essay about this, and in this particular context, I need a quotation. Can you please provide me with some, or maybe at least one? Anil Kaku will think for a few minutes and go to the particular rack, grab a book, open the page, and present the quotation to me. See, here you are. So I'm talking about a library like this, where the library can cater to the need of the learner at the very granular level, right? Now, that is a kid that is belonging to a village that is in Bengal. Now think about such several kids in different parts of India, one from Kerala, one from Rajasthan, one from Madhya Pradesh, one from Karnataka, one from Bengal, one from Northeast, any corner you can think of. Now they're asking similar questions in their own language. They want their content in their own languages, right? Now you see the propensity of the problem, the magnitude of the problem, how huge the problem is. And whenever there is a problem, there lies huge challenges. And I am proud to say that National Digital Library of India has tried to address such a big problem, catering to the individual need of all the learners in India with their own, in their own vernacular or own local languages. So, dear participants, friends, let me present you the National Digital Library of India in Indian languages, right? So again, I will tell you a story. So this is a painting. I hope many of you can recognize what this painting is about. But for those who do not have any idea of what this painting is a very interesting one. This is called a Tower of Babel, right? And this is very much related to the language in which the human beings speak and communicate with each other, right? And this Tower of Babel,
sorry to intervene. Your presentation is not visible.
Okay.
So
sorry about that. I'll just share. I forgot to share it. Sorry. Is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay. So can you see the Tower of Babel painting?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So this is a painting by Martin van Valkenburg, and this is sourced from Google Art and Culture, which is a very interesting application. You can browse through this application. But again, this Tower of Babel is a mythical entity. So this belongs to the book of Genesis, where the story of creation is written in a biblical way. So the story goes like this. So before the great flood, the human being, they used to talk in a single language. The entire human being or human race in the whole world, they talked in one unified language, one single language. Now, after the flood, they used to talk in the same language. They used to communicate in the same language. Now they tried to move eastward, right? Now, while they were moving eastward, in the Mount of Shinar, they thought that they would build a very long, huge tower so that they can reach the heaven, right? So this is a very astounding and very brave task to do, right? Reach the heaven. Now the God did not like that idea. So mortal human being, they are trying to reach heaven, no way. So he conspired. But again, the human race, the human being, they are God's children. They cannot, God cannot really punish them in a very harsh way. God cannot kill them, right? So what he did, he confounded the speech of the individual human being. Now, confounding the speech, what that will serve, what purpose that will serve? Now, they'll be having different way to speak the things. And as they will be having different ways to speak the thing, they might not be able to communicate with each other. Now, if they are not able to communicate with each other, they will not be able to build a tower as huge like this. So that was the motivation. And that perhaps, according to the biblical story of creation or explanation of creation, the birth of different multiple languages. So, okay, this is a story, we know all this is a story, mythical story. The diversity of language has got different factors, right? Migration, etc. So there are many different factors. But the reality is we speak different languages, right, worldwide. Now, coming to the Indian context, so I really will not lose the opportunity to quote a very famous poet, singer, and composer, Atul Prasad Sen, who wrote many patriotic songs. So this is an excerpt of one of the patriotic songs. So I'll just quote the song in Bengali first, then I'll translate that in English. Nana bhasha, nana mot, nana poridhan, bibidher maje dekho milono mohan. Varied are tongues and varies each race. Amid each a unity, what great grace. So you can see that in these 4 lines, we are really having the essence of the nation India, what we call nation of India. We have got multiple languages. We put on different dresses. We have got different cultures. But within this diversity, we have a very graceful unity. So this is our India. This is my India, and this is the India of every Indians, right? So we live in diversity, but we are united in some way. So as we are living in diversity in different aspects, in cultural aspect, in linguistic aspect, as I was saying earlier, that we have to always think about the designs that includes everyone, includes every linguistic community, includes every cultural community, and includes every user from different perspectives, right? And I guess this puts today's talk in very much into the context. And today, as I'm going to talk about National Digital Library of India and how it is supporting different Indian language content, access to the different language, Indian language contents. And that can be summarized with this single slogan, one library, all of India. As we are designing a library for India, the library should take care of the needs, the information or the knowledge need of the entire community from diverse linguistic background. So to give you a quick summary of different numbers that will tell something about or one aspect about the library, it is having around or hosting around 4.8 crore content on about 300 plus languages, and these contents have been harvested from around 200 sources, and it is boasting to have registered around 48 lakh users, and many of them are very active users. So today's topic is NDLI in Indian languages. But before moving to this topic, let me give you a very brief glimpse of what NDLI is, what is the vision of NDLI. Maybe many of you have participated in the sessions by Professor P.P. Das and Professor P.P. Chakraborty. You might find some few slides to be similar, but for the others who have joined newly, for them I just try to put the things into proper context. So what is the vision of NDLI? The vision of NDLI is to build a national digital library of India as a national knowledge and cultural asset, and that would be a key driving force for education, research, cultural heritage, innovation, and knowledge sharing in India. So this is the grand vision with which NDLI project has been started, and it started in the year of 2015. And with the mission that it should be able to create a 24/7 enabled, integrated, ubiquitous digital knowledge source, and it will be able to protect and preserve Indian cultural, academic, and scientific heritage. So this is a kind of mission the NDLI has, and basically it is to say that it should support its own cultural, spiritual, academic, and scientific heritage in its own terms. Now, this particular phrase on its own term has got many meaning because it is a somehow overloaded term, but it has got many aspects. One of the aspects is in its own language. Now we have got many languages, and officially we have got 22 official languages, but there are many other languages in which different communities in India talk in or communicate in. So we need to consider other languages as well. So the motto of NDLI is open and inclusive. So we promote open culture, open design, open content, and we promote inclusiveness, including every community, including every language in its fold. So as Dr. Vignesh was talking about before starting the session, that we have got different versions of the application. It has got the web version, which you can find in www.ndl.gov.in, and as a mobile app, you can find it in Google Play Store as well as in Android, Apple iOS. So there are certain unique features of NDLI. So it is a single window multilingual search and access platform. You don't need to visit multiple websites to find your required information. There is a single platform which will provide you different types of contents served from different sources and for different purposes or in different modalities. So it covers entire spectrum of learners from primary to research level and for lifelong learners as well. It hosts different types of content media, and it supports some form of personalization, and it democratizes education by providing support for national level license. So there are many resources that have been procured, license for those have been procured through the government of India, and that are being disseminated by National Digital Library of India. And it has got a wide range of contents, starting from the school domain, open contributions, research and professional institutions. For example, there are lecture notes, video lectures, assignments, lab experiments, the different question banks for preparing for different competitive exams, their model answers. In the individual contribution or in open contribution domain, there are many data sets, manuscripts, audio video content. So the expanse of or the range of contents is really huge, and the spectrum is really wide. And this, as we are talking about this from the very beginning, that this platform is for all the learners, from the school goers, the college goers, for working professionals, the researchers, edupreneurs, and finally the lifelong learners. So every learner or every level of user has got some information for his or her own need. And the whole design is centered around something that is called metadata. So this metadata is really a description of the resources, which helps the system to efficiently search and discover the resources that are being hosted in NDLI. Now, this point I like to highlight that NDL does not store all the content. So mostly the contents are hosted in their respective sources, but NDLI is integrating them by including their metadata in the central NDL repository. Now, as we are growing, as NDLI is growing, NDLI wants to grow with the users that are connecting with NDLI. So it's very important to strengthen the engagement with the users. That's why with this motto, the NDLI Club was set up. And I guess the mission that NDLI is having, that is aligned with the Read India mission, which is being preached by P.N. Panikkar Foundation for long, with the motto Learn and Grow. I think NDL shares the same philosophy of Learn and Grow. Now, when I talk about NDLI in Indian languages, there are three aspects. One is the interfaces by which different parts of NDLI repository can be navigated. Those who have registered, they know what the interfaces are. And the second important aspect is the search. Can we search in multiple languages? The third important aspect is the content. Do we have contents in different languages? So these are the three questions we have asked while we started designing NDLI system. Whether we have got interfaces for all the languages or the major languages, whether we have got search system for all the languages, whether we have got contents for different languages, right? So I think my deliberation will be focusing on these three aspects of NDLI, focusing specifically on Indian languages. So coming to the interfaces. So the interfaces, as you will start browsing or accessing NDLI, there are primarily three generic interfaces. One is browse interface, the second is search interface, and finally the content access interface, right? Now the language of the interfaces are available in 10 Indian languages apart from English. So in total we have support for, the NDLI has got support for 11 languages, one being English and other being different Indian languages. So this particular interface is being shown in Malayalam language, where we are trying to browse by type. So there are different content types like text content, video content, audio content, presentation, simulation. So here exactly what we are doing. We're trying to browse the contents that are available browse the video content in Malayalam language, right? So what we have done, we have, so there is a language selection tab out here. If you click on this, the different language options will be coming, and for the selected language, the interfaces will be visible, right? Now, you can do different types of browse. For that, you need to click on this part. So there, you can select browse by type. I really don't know what will be the representation of browse by type in Malayalam. So if you click on that, this interface will show different types. Now I have clicked on the video, and you can see that we have got the Malayalam representation of the English string video. Now you can see that I've got different contents. And one interesting thing that we can observe that, though we have got description of the content in Malayalam, but the content title is written in English, right? Now, if you dig in further, go to the particular video, you'll see that the particular video is rendered in Malayalam language, right? Though the content title is in English, you can retrieve or you can see the contents that are rendered in the specific language. And you can see that there are different filter options, which are again in Malayalam. Similarly, you can browse by subject. Here I'm presenting you an interface in Hindi, which is doing browse by subject. Now this browse by subject can be done in a hierarchical manner, right? So there is a first level hierarchy, first level subject like Prakritik Vigyan or Ganit, that is natural science and mathematics. Now if you click on this, you can see that the results are coming here. You have Hindi results, and of course you'll be having English results as well. And now you can, if you select on Hindi, it will show you all the Hindi contents, right? Similarly, you can select the second level based on the selection in the first level, and based on the selection of the first level and the second level, you can select the third level, right? Now, this interface is an example of browse by learning resource type in ODR language, right? Now again, what I have done browse by learning resource type. So if you click at this part, you will see different options. One of the options would be browse by learning resource type. If you do that, you will see different learning resource types, and there are several learning resource types, but there are the important learning resource types. For important learning resource types, you have got certain quick access buttons. So here you have a quick access button for book. Now, if you click on this, you'll get all the books that are there in NDLI. Now you can filter that in further. Let's say you want to have the books only in Odia. So for that, you need to go to the filter option Vasha or language. Then you can select Odia as your language, and then you will get all the contents that are written in Odia language. So this is another interface, which is, I think, one of the most important interfaces in NDLI is the search interface. And the search interface is being rendered in Bangla. You can see that all the elements in this interface, they are rendered in Bengali or Bangla, right? Though I have put the search query in English, right? You can see that the search query mathematics is in English. Though it is in English query, you can see that it can present the results that are in Bengali language as well, right? So for example, all these contents you can see, those who can read Bengali, they are in Bengali and they are talking about mathematics, right? So for example, this particular beautiful pictured item is about fantastic Fibonacci, right? And that the Bengali translation of that is Apurbo Fibonacci, right? So you can see that though we have put the search query in English, you can retrieve the resources or get the resources that are in different other languages like Bhojpuri, Bodo, Bangla, different other languages, right? So more or less, this is in very brief how we go about interfaces in different Indian languages. And I really will request you to browse or access NDLI to get to know what are the other interesting features that are there in NDLI as far as the interfaces in Indian languages are concerned. Right. Now coming to the next part of the design is the whether we can search in different other languages than English. So currently NDLI supports search in 2 other languages than English, and these are the languages are Hindi and Bengali. I know this is a very small list compared to the number of languages we have in India, but we are already working on the design. Maybe that will be rolled out after a few months. That will accommodate search in other Indian languages, right? We are really working on it. Now here you can see that we have searched in Hindi and the search string is Mahatma Gandhi, right? And you can see that we have all the results that are talking about that concerns Mahatma Gandhi, right? Likewise, you can search in and here we have searched again with another string Hindi, that is Sahitya. Now you can see that though we have searched in Hindi, we have retrieved contents that are written in English. For example, comparative literature paper 3, National Eligibility Test Examination Question Paper, June 2010. So you can see that we can search cross language way. So we are putting the query in Hindi, we are retrieving the results in Hindi, you can see here, as well as we are retrieving the relevant results in English as well, right? And then you can also filter with other languages. So here is an example of search in Bangla. Now here we are trying to search the poems of Rabindranath Tagore. You can see that all the resources that are being listed here, they are the poems of beautiful poems of Rabindranath Tagore, right? All in Bengali. Now coming to the content, we have got contents in many Indian languages. So these are some examples, but that doesn't mean that the other languages are excluded. So this is a content in Malayalam. And another interesting thing you can see, I think this is a book in Malayalam language. And this book has got, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters or 5 parts. All these parts are being listed here, right? So one can move to the other chapter. Maybe this individual parts are the chapters of the book. So you can click this part and go to that particular chapter. So you can move across the chapters and you don't need to go and search back again. In the same interface, we'll be getting all the related contents together, right? All the related chapters, all the chapters of the same book maybe, or all the other video lectures of the same course. So this is a very important feature in National Digital Library of India as far as the content page is involved. So this is content in Gujarati. Again, you can see that perhaps this is a book and all the chapters are listed, and you can move across the chapters to see the different chapters of the same book in the same content interface. And this is an example of content in Sanskrit and content in Bengali. Right? I think this is a content about Rabindranath being in Shillong. So Shillong was a very important place where Rabindranath used to visit frequently. And I think this content is from Presidency Alumni Association, Calcutta. So they have very interesting resources like the writings of Jagadish Chandra, Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose. So there are very eminent writings or communication by different eminent researchers, luminaries, and their resources are being hosted in Presidency Alumni Association, Calcutta. And being in Calcutta, they have many resources that are in English as well as in Bengali. So if we look at the language-wise distribution, I will not say we are doing really good. So I have excluded English, right? English contents, they are being used very frequently. There is no escape from that. But if we exclude English, so this is the distribution of the resources across different Indian languages, right? And you can see that Bangla has got around 49% of the chunk, and this is no way that this is the reason that the NDLI is hosted at IIT Kharagpur. But this is a fact that there are several resources like West Bengal Public Library Network or different other huge collections from which we can borrow the resources or integrate the resources. Perhaps that is the reason that Bangla has got the greater chunk, but that is not the intention really. So we need to have a uniform distribution of the resources in NDLI. So that is what we are up to. We are taking that very seriously, that we need to have a very uniform distribution of the collection, the contents in different languages, right? So this pie chart should look, every language has got the same proportion. So with this, let me talk about several future initiatives. The interfaces, they should be available in all other Indian languages, and we are really working hard on this point. Search should be available in other languages. As I have mentioned, we have already started working on the technology part of it, and some of which we have already developed. And we are trying to roll out this feature as soon as possible. And this is very important, which I think we need the help of the different language communities, because they know what are the important contents or quality contents that are existing in their language community. So we need to ensure that there is a uniformity in the content distribution, but unless we have the help from different linguistic community, it will not be possible for us to ensure this uniformity. So this is, I'm preaching to you that we need to go hand in hand and collaborate with you to find out resources, important resources that are there in other languages, and we'll be very much happy to integrate those in NDLI. And while we are talking about enhancing or increasing the spread or increasing the number of languages in the interface domain, that is, we want to have the interfaces available in all the languages, we really need your support. So what we need really, you can see that if you have browsed the NDLI interfaces, there are different UI or user interface elements, right? So these individual user interface elements, they have to be translated into the corresponding language, right? So if let's say we are trying to create an interface for Malayalam, though Malayalam is included in NDLI. Now, for every user interface element, every string that you can see over the buttons or different places in the NDLI interfaces, that those have to be translated. And I think the local, the speakers of that language, they are the best persons to do that. So we really need your support to develop the language, the interfaces of different languages. And while we are talking about language specific contents, we need, or we are requesting different organizations, different libraries, different schools, different administrative offices to come forward with the contents in the local languages. And again, we'll be happy to integrate those with NDLI. So we are really requesting for the organizational level contents in local language, and as well as the individual contributions of the contents from the local language. So as far as I was talking about, we are working on the technical designs of making this content searchable in other languages. So this is a video that will illustrate how the artificial intelligence technique is being used to search the scanned books. So there are many books that are scanned in different languages, and it is very hard to search within these scanned books because they are in image form. So if they're in image form, the text processing systems, they are really they really find it hard to search the content, right? So what this initiative has done, and this has been done in collaboration with CVIT, IIIT Hyderabad, led by Professor C.V. Jauhar. So they have developed an information retrieval system, so that in simpler word, you have got the books in different languages, and you can write the queries in different languages, and it can retrieve the resources that are matching the query, right? And they are using a technique called the optical character recognition technique, along with the search technologies, right? So this is a very beautifully executed project. I'll not be, okay, I'm just keeping a part of it. Yeah. So I'll skip this part because I have shown you the part which established, somehow established my point that though the contents are in different languages and they are in scan form, they can match the query that is written in the query box and retrieve the specific part of the content which has got matched to the query. So to develop a fully functional and inclusive of all the languages of India, we really require your support. So do please help us by in various ways. So one is translating quality contents in your language. There are many useful contents or quality contents that are available in different other languages. For example, in English, maybe in other languages, but may not be, it may be the fact that that particular content is not uh, mm, available in a particular language. So that particular linguistic community can come forward and help us by providing a translation of that quality content, so that particular content will be accessible by that particular community. The second help that we require from the community is to recommend to us a list of quality contents in the local language. So that's how we can harvest the content in a crowdsourced manner. So it is the community, they are coming forward with the contents in the local language. And again, we'll be very much happy to have them in NDLI to provide access to them to the wider community. And third one is contributing original teaching learning material. So in schools, the teachers, they are really providing huge amount of effort to curate, create very good, interesting quality teaching learning materials. So if they are available and in local language, if they are available to us in the NDLI, so it will be very much beneficial to the other teachers, maybe in the same language. So with this motto, this particular NDLI concept of NDLI club was set up. So apart from the reading, to create the habit of reading, to inculcate the habit of reading, we are also requesting for community support through these NDLI clubs, so that the NDLI, whole NDLI repository can be enriched with more and more Indian language contents, Indian language interfaces. So this is a request to all the different language communities to come forward and contribute to the National Digital Library of India with their own linguistic artifacts, contents, and other things. So I think Dr. Vignesh is uh, conducting different workshops, very interesting workshops on and competitions on different aspects of reading. Maybe this this task of translation, this task of recommendation, this task of contribution can be brought into the fold of NDLI club, and maybe different hackathons or competitions can be arranged or organized to harvest contents from the community in a very natural way. So I think in the beginning, Dr. Vignesh has played this video, but I'll play it again because that really gives us the essence of the multilinguality of the library, the National Digital Library of India. So let me play it again.
So that audio is not coming. Sir, that audio is not coming, sir. You may have to unmute your mic, then only I think it will be. or when you share, you have to click on the share the sound also option at the bottom.
So thank you very much. So this, I think this is the end of my deliberation. And if time permits, I'll be happy to address your questions. Though I cannot see you, it's a very different kind of situation, but I will definitely listen to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this new dimension to NDLI, which specifically talks about accessing NDLI in Indian languages. Uh, Thank you. We have a couple of questions already from the participants. I have noted down some of them. So there is a question from Aruna Kumar Gadapalli. Question is, if a child wants to write stories in mother tongue, and if he or she wants to contribute to NDLI, can that be done? Or do one need to publish before contributing to NDLI?
Okay, so that is a, so can I respond to this question?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, so
So
that is
you,
a,
before you move the, if you could stop sharing your screen, then you will be
oh,
able to see your face.
okay, sure.
Yeah, fine, sir. Kindly go
So,
ahead.
so this is a very, very interesting suggestion, or actually we are thinking over this for a long, and we are designing systems or interfaces to receive the creation from the community. So I maybe rephrase the thing, or maybe put the thing in the phrase, the entire wish in a phrase, the creation of the community. So we have started already the concept of the NDLI club, though that is in a very physical form. Very soon we are going to have an online version of the NDLI club, which will host different activities. For example, one of the important activities would be different tasks or different competitions will be organized in different levels. It can be in national level, it can be in state level, it can be in local level, or it can be even in institution level, right? So one can uh, think of a system like this, where a kid who is very talented, and all kids are very talented in my view, and they have their own way of imagining the things. So they have their own creations, and these creations will be part of the NDLI club without any hindrance.
Sure.
But in order to take that forward to the uh, uh, core NDLI platform. So this NDLI has now is being thought of as a core system, which is the NDLI repository. And in the periphery of that would be a layer which we call as NDLI club, which will be interfacing with the community, which will be the interface of the NDLI core with the community. Now, whatever the community is producing will be a part of the NDLI club without any, so there will be some checks and balances, of course. And the other communities, they will be able to view or do several things on it. And depending on what kind of rights someone is attributing to the content that has been created by the person. Now, after that, there will be a central community, which again, that committee, again, that would be driven by the community. They will be reviewing the contents that are being contributed to the NDLI club, and quality contents will be pushed to NDLI core. So that is how we are designing the entire service spectrum or services. So definitely, yes, the contribution from the community, be it a kid, be the person is a kid, be a person is a teacher, anyone can contribute to NDLI, and that would be translated or transferred to the core with proper checks and balances. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes. It's a similar question. So this question is from a vice principal. His question is, I'm an economics teacher and want to create my content in Rajasthani. Will NDLI support me for this?
Dr. Vignesh, I lost few words in between. Can you repeat the question?
Sure. So this question is from a vice principal, and his or her question is, I want to ask you that I am an economics teacher and I want to
Okay.
create my content in Rajasthani. Will
Yes.
NDLI support me for this?
Okay, definitely. Actually, 1 week back, we had a very interesting, very useful or very fruitful meeting with a number of principals or educationists from different parts of India. So this particular point was very much appreciated, that the teaching community, they want to participate in this movement. They want to contribute the contents in their local language. We are very much supportive of this this activity, because this will not only enrich the schools, but also it will enrich the NDLI, and in turn it will enrich the entire nation. And we are working on the development of the platform that will support these contributions. Definitely, we'll get back to you, ma'am or sir, in due course. Definitely, it can be done.
Okay. So I think one more similar question. This question is from Pranchali. I am a librarian as well as a writer. So how to contribute my writing on this platform?
So this, I think the answer would be same. Everything. So let me try to generalize the design a bit further. So we have got different layers, right? At the core, at the kernel, there sits NDLI repository, right? And on top of that, you have got the club layer. And on top of that, you have got the inter-community. And we are trying to provide interfaces through this club platform so that any person can contribute to NDLI. I think this will summarize the stand that NDLI is trying to take to include or to collect the contents from the community or engage with the community. I'll rephrase it, engage with the community. So this is the primary mandate at this point of time that the engagement with the community should be very much prominent. It is not only that the NDLI it will not be a one-way process, it will be a both-way process. There will be both-way contribution, as NDLI would be contributing to the nation and the nation would be contributing to the repository, so that there will be a snowball effect and everyone will get enriched.
Sure. So there is a suggestion from Mr. Venkat Gonareddy. There is one library exclusively meant for stories, established by famous writer Kalipatnam Ramarao in Srikakulam, Andhra Pradesh. Can this be linked to NDLI so that researchers can get benefited?
Definitely. So this was one of the other points in my wish list, that can you give us the pointers of useful resources? Definitely, sir. If you can provide us with the link, we can connect with the organization if required, and get the contents connected or integrated to NDLI system. Definitely, very useful suggestion. And I'll request the other participants to come forward with the pointers to the other resources in different languages. That's how the entire system will be enriched.
Sure. So thank you so much, sir. Thanks for the wonderful session. So now I request Balagopalji to take it forward. Balagopalji.
Yes. Prabhan Kumarji, it was your amazing talk, very good. But I have a suggestion, small suggestion that can be this I discussed with your many officials also, because now in this era, we want some money in our hands. So regional products, that is indigenous products, has to be developed. For example, in Bengali, the Bengali silk saris has very good demand. That has to be taken to other parts, Orissa. And then in Calcutta, in UP, Uttar Pradesh, there's chicken varieties of saris, etc. Or in Kerala, the Kasau saris, it has got demand in different parts of the country. Now, through this digital library, because we are planning to go to have these digital libraries in all panchayats of the country. That's our dream. Not dream, it will be a reality by 2025. So during that period, we have to educate, because you are involved in education technology. The education has to be linked with some technology also, some appropriate technology or intermediate technology by which we can, because everybody wants to make our citizen more effective and more powerful, because through knowledge. So that type of ideas should also be conceived and implemented through your division, Center for Education Technology.
Definitely, sir. This is a very useful suggestion. And I agree with you that we need to support the training and education that will enhance the capability or skill to promote these indigenous products. And I really appreciate your suggestion. And I think I will discuss with the entire team. And that is a very, very important suggestion. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Mr. Prabhan Kumarji, for coming up to attending this webinar and giving us some thoughts how to develop, how to have association with the NDLI, local people, NDLI for their what you call for their knowledge empowerment. Thank you, Mr. Prabhat Kumar again, and Dr. Vignesh and the entire delegates.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And again, I'm pretty uncomfortable not to see the participants. So it's really sad I could not see you all, but I guess we'll be in touch through NDLI, because you are all part of NDLI. You are NDLI. So it's a community effort. It is not an effort from the individual institution. So we are all part of NDLI. We are all contributing to the NDLI, and I look forward to more contribution from the all stakeholders. Thank you very much, and hopefully we will be connected again. And I really thank Dr. Vignesh as well for giving me an opportunity to talk here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir, people are asking for your contact details. Can you share your email ID with
I think that is with you. You can share that with. Okay.
Sure, sure. So I will share it with them, and also the presentation we can upload it on the project website, right?
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay, sure. So participants, the presentation for today's webinar will be uploaded on NDLI project website. So I'm just going to put the URL in the chat box. So kindly you can download it tomorrow, because our team will upload it tonight. So you can download it tomorrow. And I'm also sharing Dr. Laban Kumar Bhaumik's email ID in the chat box. Uh, just give me
Dr.
a
Dr.
minute.
Vignesh,
Yes.
I have updated the presentation a bit. There is a new
Okay.
version. I'll share that version with you. You can upload that version, not the
Sure.
version that is with you now.
Sure. Sure. I have also entered Dr. Plaban's email ID in the chat box, so you can take note of it. And once again, I thank each of the participants. We had closer to 290 participants uh, on the Zoom, and another 100 plus participants on the YouTube. I'm sure, I think more than 400, around 400 participants might have attended this webinar. So I thank Dr. Blaban for taking out his time and then being with us and patiently responding to each of the questions. I once again thank Dr. Blaban and Balagopalji for like coordinating, bringing in valuable resource person from across the country. Thank you, Balagopal sir, and Dr. Plaban for being here, and
Thank
also
you.
each one of the participants for being here, attending all our webinars. Today is the 23rd webinar, and tomorrow we have two webinars. So that will make 25 webinars in this last 1 month. Tomorrow morning, we are going to have a first webinar at 11 o'clock. So the webinar will be on New Indian Educational Policy, a perspective, by Sri Kummanam Rajashekharan, who was the former governor of Sir
Mizoram.
Mizoram. So he's going to,
Mizoram.
yeah, he is going to be talking on the new Indian educational policy from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And the next webinar, it's very important for all the library professionals. It's going to be on preservation of manuscripts and books post COVID-19. So this is going to be conducted by Dr. P. Perumal, who is the chief conservator of who is the state coordinator of Tamil Nadu Manuscripts Mission, and he was the chief conservator of the Tanjavur Tanjai Saraswati Maga Library. So he's going to be there. I have entered both the URLs for registration tomorrow. Look forward to see you tomorrow on both the webinars. Thank you so much. With this, we are going to end this webinar.
Thank you.